Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. John here. It's beginning of the season. We're getting ready to get started on our push to Mythic this month of September. And we've got a fun deck to play today. I love playing Jeskai, and so since that's my colors, that's what I've really invested all of my wild cards into. And as a result, I really don't have a lot of the big stuff in other colors. And that kind of limits what I can do as far as playing some of the mainstream decks out there right now. But it does mean that I can play a lot of the Jeskai thing. So what we're going to play today is a Jeskai Superfriends deck. And I love this deck. It's just so much fun to play Planeswalkers and to see them come out and activate their abilities over again. And Sarkhan and his ability to just make all of my Planeswalkers 4/4 flying dragons for a turn and just hit them for a ton of damage at once always feels really good. Not too many changes on this. I am looking to make this rotation proof in the future, but since we've got these cards in right now, we can still play Karn, we can still play Opt. We're gonna run with them and we're gonna see how it does today. Okay, game 1 versus Retired Killer. This is going to be our test run of the deck. We'll see how it does here in the early game as we look to move forward. Looks like our starting hand, we've got a Sulphur Falls Interplanar Beacon. Not great, but not terrible either. We do have a Narset here, which if we get one more land in, we can head out pretty early. The Sulphur Falls will let us use the shocks. We are missing other lands, though. I am on the draw, so I'm going to keep it, and we'll see where things go. Okay, Mono Black Knight of the Eben Legend. That's looking like a Rakdos aggro deck, which can be a little dangerous for us, but we do have the shock to take care of the Knight before it can get out of hand, so we'll be looking to do that next turn. Okay, yep, there's the white mana for the... Okay, looks like instead of Rakdos, we're looking at vampires. And that's just as scary. Here's our white mana, though, Sacred Foundry. So because we're running out of shock, we're going to play this tapped and go ahead and shock that lieutenant now. We could wait until their turn just to let them run out anything else, but I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So taking one more from the knight. It looks like they don't have any other early plays. They missed a land drop, which is fantastic for us. Let's go ahead and run out the Interplanar Beacon. I'm going to start with Narset because I'm a little more okay with losing her, and this will let me dig for other answers to things that are coming later. So let's see, we've got 4 mana in hand. We have a Teferi, Narset's out. Let's go ahead and take Karn here. I don't need the Opt. The Karn will let me dig a little bit further if I need to. I'm finding all of my Planeswalkers. I just need to find another land and we should be good to go. Okay, Narset's at 2. So let's start... Let's see, we can... Got a couple options here. Let's go ahead and use Narset. Let her die. We're gonna go find... Okay, Chandra's the only option that we found here. So let's run out our Sacred Foundry. And we're gonna bring it in, pay the life for it so we can bring out Karn. Gain a life off of our Interplanar Beacon, and we're going to plus Karn here. Again, we're just trying to find cards right now, looking for some lands. Looks like we've got a Saheeli versus Hallowed Fountain. We'll probably... Yep, there's the Hallowed Fountain for us. Saheeli in the graveyard, or in exile, excuse me. And it looks like he's starting to find his lands, which could be bad. Here's Sorin. He's probably going to +1, put a counter on... Oh, okay. Putting a vampire onto the battlefield. Okay. Vona, that's interesting. Haven't seen Vona in too many builds. That's a card that'll be rotating out, but it's so good. Okay. With our land here, Time Wipe just feels really good, so we're going to play the Hallowed Fountain and take care of these two. And then we'll go ahead and... We don't need Saheeli right now, so let's go ahead and plus Karn again. We're looking at a Hallowed Fountain versus another Narset. Here comes more land. which land can be good for us. We are looking to start playing multiple Planeswalkers out at once. So this should be okay. Knight of the Eben Legion's back out. So let's go ahead and run out the Hallowed Fountain that he knows about. And we're going to let this one... we're starting to get lower on life. We could pay 2, and that gives us 6 mana, but we're not looking to play Chandra right now. We're going to let this enter tapped, and I'm going to go ahead and play Teferi here. Okay, opponent scoops it up. He knows he can't get past this anymore. That works for us. 1 down. Okay, coming up against Cobble this time. Let's see what we get. Opening hand, we've got Sacred Foundry, Clifftop Retreat, which gives us plenty of red, plenty of white. But we're looking at Teferi, Narsa, and Karn as our Planeswalkers to start out with. We do have a Deafening Clarion here, but I'm not sure this is good enough to keep as a starting hand. It's just so dangerous when we're missing the main color that our hand wants to have. We're going to go ahead and mulligan this one into 2 Sacred Foundries, a Glacial Fortress. This time we've got Saheeli and Narset, which looks a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and keep this. And we're just going to push the Opt to the bottom. With Narset out, we don't really need that. So let's start with the Sacred Foundry and pass the turn. Okay, after waiting forever, Cobble has played a Timber Gorge, pass the turn. Let's see, so we don't need to play anything right now. Let's run out this Hallowed Fountain tap, pass the turn. Okay, we got a second Timber Gorge, that's fine for us. We're gonna go ahead and play the Sacred Foundry, or excuse me, the Glacial Fortress. And we'll run out, because our opponent's running slower, let's go ahead and run out Saheeli. That way, as we play our other Planeswalkers and other spells, we'll start to generate servos that can act as blockers for us while we build up. Here's a Forest for Cobble, followed by an Elvish Rejuvenator. So it looks like we're playing some kind of land space here. Still red-green, which is fine. We'll take that. Let's run out Narset. Get our servo. We'll take down Narset, go dig in, and let's grab Sarkhan. That's fine. From here, we'll go ahead and run out the Sacred Foundry, let it enter tapped, and pass the turn. Okay, Timber Gorge for the opponent. Looks like he's really struggling with those coming into play tapped lands, which is great for us. Ooh, Goreclaw, okay. So, he's looking to run big creatures then, make them cost less. That's interesting. So, okay. Well, let's go ahead and run out Clifftop Retreat. And we'll go ahead and play, let's see. So Goreclaw gives +1/+1 and trample. So we need to deal with that sooner rather than later. We're just going to go ahead and take this turn to... First, let's play Narset.
Meditate.
And that'll find us an Opt. So since we have Narset at 1, we're not going to worry too much about grabbing another one. And then let's just deal with this Time Wipe here. We'll return one of the servos. It doesn't matter if we return the servo or not, it's gone forever. But this takes care of the Goreclaw, which is a really could be problematic based on what he's running. So I haven't seen too much yet. We'll see what else he's got, but making sure we get rid of that trample when we've just got 1/1 creatures to deal with it is pretty important. Okay, here's a Rootbound Crag for Cobble. Charging Tuscadon. Ooh, that's another scary creature. This one also has trample. So let's see. We'll start with Esteem Vents. We'll pay the 2 life. And we're going to play Chandra. That'll give us a servo. Now we can plus Chandra and put him on a clock, or we can minus Chandra and deal with the trample. Because our main goal is to play Sarkhan next turn and swing in with 3 4/4 flyers, I'm going to neg 4 Chandra here to take care of this Tuscadon. It doesn't seem like he has any haste, so just making sure we get rid of these creatures as they come out will keep us right where we want to be. So 5 cards for the opponent. Looks like another land. So he's up to 7 lands so far. And there's that Trampler we were worried about. And haste. So charging Monstrosaur. Okay, so he's going to take out Chandra here. There's nothing I can do about that. Yep, attacking Chandra. So we're not going to block because it's not worth it. I'll let Chandra go.
I can always do better next time.
And look at that, we pulled another Chandra. Okay, that's fantastic. So we can, let's rinse and repeat here. We'll play another Chandra. And this time we're going to neg 5 her to deal with the Monstrosaur.
Glad I could help with your not being on fire problem.
Play the Hallowed Fountain. Let's go ahead and pay the 2 life. That way we can play the Opt if we need to. Swing in for 1. And pass the turn. Elvis Rejuvenator, that's fine. Let him find more lands. Colossal Majesty, yeah, that's not going to do anything for him when he has no big creatures out. And looks like he's passing the turn from there. So we're going to go ahead and opt at the end of his turn. Get us another servo. That finds Karn. Ooh, that makes... Okay, this is... Our entire game plan just changed a little bit. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play Karn. Get another servo. And then we're going to play Teferi. Get another servo. Gain a... we're going to minus Teferi. Return his Rejuvenator to hand. Then we're going to minus Karn and create a construct that's as big as the other artifacts we've got. And now we're going to actually minus Saheeli to make one of our artifacts a copy of that one until end of turn. And we'll plus Chandra up, make sure we get that emblem in place. Then we're going to attack for 8. Puts opponents down to 11 and pass the turn. Okay, well now he's got a really quick clock that he's looking at. Still not finding anything outside of lands, which is really good for us. And with Sarkhan in hand, that's it. And let's run out Sarkhan. Because this is how we want to win. We want to win by swinging in with a bunch of flyers. This is, I mean, this is Super Friends. And our opponent is letting us, so why not, right? Good game, opponent. Are you going to take it, or are you going to concede? So, here's all of our damage. Wow. Down to negative 20. If I had minus Saheeli, it would have been a little lower, but that's okay. We'll take the win. That was great. Thanks. Camelius. I'm not sure how to say it, but our next opponent is here. Let's see, we've got our Interplanar Beacon, Clifftop Retreat, Sigurd Foundry for lands, which gives us access to all the colors that we need for our Planeswalkers. Our hand has 3 Sarkhans, which doesn't feel the greatest, but we do have Teferi, which can help slow the board down. I'm a little worried about these 3. So I think this seems like a good hand at first glance because we have the 3 lands, but 3 of the same Planeswalker means we're not going to be doing a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and start by mulliganing here. So now we've got 4 lands to Big Teferi, Opt, and Saheeli. This looks a lot better for us. Let's go ahead and keep it, and I want to keep my Opt so I can get quick creatures out quickly with Saheeli, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of one of our shock lands here. We want red a lot in this, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of the Hallowed Fountain. And let's see what the opponent's doing. Okay, Mountain off the start. Here's a baby Teferi for us, so that's gives us some more early game options. Let's go ahead and run out the Steam Vents and pass the turn. Okay, looks like it is mono red aggro, which could be a little bit of a problem. So we'll play the Sacred Foundry, pass the turn. Next turn, we can start to get our Planeswalkers out. If he plays... Okay, getting the Chainwhirler out now is fine because that means that it's not hitting our Planeswalkers. But it also means that we're looking to... We've got to find a way to start dealing with this board, and we just don't have anything in hand at the moment for it. Holding on to that opt so I can start pumping creatures out with Saheeli in a minute here. I pulled a second Teferi out, so we're going to play this Glacial Fortress. We'll run our first Teferi out because it's going to provide a little bit of a different target for him. He'll probably attack it with the Chainwhirler next turn, which is fine for us. It gets the Steamkin off the battlefield so he can't generate so much mana with it. And it draws us one card closer, which it looks like we did find a time wipe, which will really be helpful when he starts to build this board up. So he's going to run the Steamkin out again. We're on turn 4. He's got 4 mana, so he's doing fine there. Looks like he did have that Lightning Strike in hand, which again is fine for us. That takes 3 damage off of our face. And we still have the second Teferi in our hand here. So let's go ahead and run out the Clifftop Retreat, and then we'll play Saheeli. Again, what we're going to be looking to do is run our opt-out when it's time for blockers. So that way we can take care of some of this damage. Here's... Excuse me. Oh, that was awful. Okay, here's another Chainwhirler. Gonna let that resolve. It's gonna deal 1 damage.
I will not give up.
Light up the stage, that's fine. Can't do anything about that. I'm gonna let it resolve. Now he does have 3 mana on his Steamkin, which are 3 counters, so he can remove those anytime he wants to. We need to find that 5th land, and we need to find it in a hurry here. So we're gonna pass to attackers. Looks like he's sending the Chainwhirler at us and the Steamkin at Saheeli. So let's go ahead and opt. That'll give us our servo to block. And then we can't use Karn right now. We need that land. So we're gonna put Karn to the bottom. Found another opt. That's not gonna cut it. We need to keep Saheeli around for right now because she's our only source of blockers. So we're going to block the Steamkin, and we'll take the 3 damage up front. Come on, land. Come on, you can do it. So he sacked the Steamkin. Because he took the counters off, that left it with 1 health. We did 1 damage to it, which killed it. And now we're going to take that extra 3. And now he's got a Lava Runner out. Okay. Oh, not the land we wanted, but it is the land we needed. So we're at 7, but I have to pay the 2 life here in order to time wipe. If I don't do this, then I just die to what's on the board. I don't have enough spells in hand to play enough servos in order to get rid of that. So here comes Tybalt. He's got a 1/1 devil here. That's fine. We can deal with that. So let's play. We need to play the Sacred Foundry tapped. Nothing we can do about that. So we can, let's see. We can play Teferi. That'll give us a servo. Draw a card. Untapping 2 lands means that we can opt on his turn and block the devils. Now the big problem is if he finds a lightning strike or a wizard's lightning off the top of his deck, then we just die to all that damage. But at the same time, we need to start drawing. We need to start finding our way of winning. With Tybalt out, we can't gain life, so we can't use any interplanar beacons at the moment. We're gonna have to deal with that. So let's see where we can go. We'll play Teferi. We'll untap our 2 steam vents here. We'll make it look like we've got a shock in hand. Hopefully we find one in our library here off this opt. He's going to go ahead and create another devil here. Okay, pass into attacks. He's attacking us, so we are going to need to block that. Come on. Let it go through. We'll take the one from the creature. Okay, down to 4. Light up the stage. And there's the lightning strike. That's not good for us. Down to 1. Okay, so now we've got to find some answers, and Hallowed Fountain is not gonna do it. Deafening Clarion could be what we need here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play Teferi, get another servo. We're gonna minus this Teferi to return the Devil because we cannot afford that damage. That's gonna find us a land. And we're gonna minus our bigger Teferi to get Tibble off the board. Because we have got to start gaining life here. So we'll run out the Sulphur Falls, and we're gonna run Deafening Clarion, choosing to give our creatures lifelink. I suppose we could have waited another turn in order to get more damage off of it. But yeah, that probably would have been the better play, is to wait. Gaining 1 doesn't even get us out of shock range. So we'll see if he's got anything here. Experimental Frenzy. He's got 3 mana, and Tybalt is 2 cards down. He played his land for turn, and there's the shock. Okay, nothing we could do about that, unfortunately. Just had the right cards at the right time. Rob 820992 is our opponent now. So let's see what we can do against him. Okay. Interplanar Beacon, Steam Vent, Secret Foundry. Variety of stuff to play Planeswalkers, to keep the board under control. Let's keep it. Okay. Bloodfell Caves for the opponent, so we're looking at a minimum of Rakdos. Could be more than that. Let's go ahead and run out our Steam Vents for now. Pass the turn. Okay. Nothing on turn 2 for him. We're gonna go ahead and just run out the Sacred Foundry now while we can, since our other lands will come out untapped. Okay, 3 mana. What have you got, Rob? Bring it on. Gorging Vulture, okay. When it enters, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. Gain a life for each creature. So it looks like we're kind of running against some kind of Reanimator. We got Cavalier, Bond of Revival, all put into his graveyard here. Let's go ahead and shock the Vulture now. Graveyard decks. Haven't played too many against graveyard decks. This should be interesting. Let's play Saheeli. Pass the turn. We'll gain a life off our Interplanar Beacon. This allows us to set up for future turns, start generating those servos as quickly as we can. Okay, Honor the God Pharaoh. He's discarding Drakuseth. Okay, that's a scary card. That is an intimidating thing. If he can revive that, we could be in for a bit of trouble. So let's play Karn here. We'll gain some life, make a servo, and then we're gonna plus 1 here, get some more card draw going. Man, Saheeli plus Karn just feels so good when you can get all those servos out, and then you just get these much larger artifacts. But he is putting Chandra in our exile, giving us the Deafening Clarion. That's fine, we can get her out later when we have enough mana to play her. For right now, we're just going to focus on getting as many servos out as we can. And there's the Drakuseth. Okay, that is scary. And it has haste. Oh boy. Okay. So 4 damage to any target, 3 damage to any other 2 targets. This is really not looking good, because we're going to lose just about everything.
I will.
There goes Karn. He's got 5 lands. Costs 7 to play Drakuseth. So we're gonna play Teferi here. We'll gain some more life back, create another servo, and we're gonna put Drakuseth back in his hand.
Don't worry, I got this.
Then we'll run out steam vents. I don't have anything in my hand that I can play with it, so I'm just gonna pass the turn. There's land number 6 for him, so things are not looking good for us at the moment. We've really got to find something to get in there. And we've got to sack a Planeswalker now, so let's go ahead and sack Saheeli. We want to keep Teferi around as long as possible, because he's going to be our big way to deal with Drakuseth. And we have a second Saheeli in hand. Looks like he's going to make us sack both of them, though. So, let's see. So let's run out Saheeli number 2. Gain some life. And then we'll play the Sacred Foundry. We'll pay for it to run out our second Teferi. Man, this has gotta feel so bad for him. He just dealt with them and they're already back.
You show remorse,
And now they're even bigger because we're gonna +1 this Teferi.
Let's try this.
Swing in for 1. He is gonna block, that's fine. We're just looking to clear out his board so we can deal with anything that comes later and hopefully put pressure on him. Gorging Vulture is going to put some more creatures in his graveyard. So many big creatures. This is... We just have to hope that he either A, doesn't hit any more lands to get that Drakuseth out until we can effectively deal with it. Or B, hope that we can just find ways to finish him off quickly here. So let's run Narset out. Gain some life, create another servo.
I know
Minus here, find out. Okay, found our time wipe. That'll help later. Let's go ahead and tick up Teferi here. Don't have a reason to do anything with Saheeli, so we'll pass the turn. Holding up Deafening Clarion in case he does get more creatures out. If he tries to attack one of our Planeswalkers, we can shock the Vulture. We should be okay at the moment. So he is attacking Teferi. We're going to shock the Vulture. Get another servo. He did find that last land that he needed, but it came out tapped. Looks like we're going to whiff on Narset. That's too bad. But at the same time, it gets us into a much better position where we can draw into stuff rather than hitting lands over and over again. So let's run out the steam vents. We'll tick up Teferi before I forget.
Here we go.
And we're just going to swing in for 2. And hold it at that point. We have the mana up where as soon as he plays Drakuseth, we can time wipe because we've got Teferi letting us cast instants or sorceries at instant speed. So we are going to do that now. Return a creature, kill the rest. That's our turn, okay. Plus Teferi. We don't want to minus him in case he finds another Drakuseth and we just can't deal with that. So we're going to opt here. Finds us a Justice Strike. Justice Strike will be fantastic for any more big creatures that come out. So we'll just pass the turn here. At this point, we're just looking to control the board until we can find one of our Sarkhans. There's a Drakuseth. And we're just going to Justice Strike that right now. Get that out of the way. Pass to our turn. Here's a new Saheeli. Don't need that at the moment. Let's see. 8 loyalty. If we minus him to draw... We'll go down to 5. 5 should be enough to keep going. So we're gonna submit nothing, draw a card. Unfortunately, we're finding lands right now, so we'll just keep swinging in with these servos. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness, a third Drakuseth. Okay, well, we found our Sarkhan. So we'll bounce this one back, delay it for a little bit.
Might be a bad idea.
And 2 Sarkhans in a row, huh? Okay, so we'll play one of them. Gain some life, create another servo.
Fight with a
we
dragon's
will
rage.
plus Sarkon,
They are
making
coming.
copies of everything. And then we're going to minus Saheeli. Actually, it becomes a copy of target creature, so it would just die, wouldn't it? Okay, we do that when we create a dragon. We can do that then. But let's just go to combat and swing in. Bonus down to 6. And then we will pass the turn. Golden Demise. Interesting choice. That's just doing that. Okay, so he's conceding the game. That's why he ran that out instead of the Drakuseth. And opponent scoots it up. Wait, excellent. Okay. Well, there you have it, guys. That's Jeskai Superfriends. It looks like it's still doing really well, especially in ranked. Just so many Planeswalkers. The decks are just not equipped to deal with. Anyways, please, again, like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. If there's any changes that you would make to the deck, things that you would look at to replace some of those cards that are going to be rotating out in order to make this continue to be viable. Awesome. Thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.